So I'm always looking for filmmaking projects to do, and part of the idea of doing a video every day is that it forces me to try and come up with something worthwhile to put out into the world. So most of these videos, I admit that I've been putting up so far have been kind of lazy. Just me turning on the camera at some point during the day and filming myself talking like I'm doing right now. So I want to try something. I want to try something a little bit more daring. Just a small thing, kind of like what I did right after moving down to PA in the first place, and I did my short film based on Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. Um, She can. I guess I'll put a link to that in the description. I'm still proud of it, even though it's not um, the best thing I've ever done. I like it. It's interesting. It was just an experiment. It's just me fucking around, really, and I think I want to fuck around again. So what I want to do is I want to do something based around Sherlock Holmes. I mentioned this earlier, that I wanted to do an acting thing, an acting exercise where I played out the first scene where Holmes and Moriarty met each other, and I want to do that. I want to do that, but I think I can. I think I can do better than just uh, set up some easy camera angles and just act it out like that. That seems a little bit lame now that I think about it. I think I can do something more interesting. So I'm thinking of making it a film, a short film that I'm going to call Sherlock's First Date or something of that nature. Um, and use the dialogue from the text, but frame it as if Sherlock Holmes is really nervous about meeting his new nemesis, about having his first real date with this nemesis he's had an enemy crush on for quite a while. Um, so here's what I'm thinking so far. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe we start on a high angle of this room. This is probably the messiest room in the apartment. This is like our living room slash closet area. And I'm thinking of like a high angle. The TV is over here. Ironically, I'm watching Sherlock Holmes right now, as you can see. Sherlock Holmes on the TV. Well, probably not in the actual film. So the camera's up here. And Sherlock Holmes himself is. I have to hold the camera, so the camera's going to come with me right here. I'll have my tripod set up at the time. Sherlock Holmes will be lying across the sofa in some way, and he will be lying here as just part of the scenery. So again, the camera's up there, and Sherlock is just there, looking like a rumpled pile of clothes, and he's sitting there, and he's in the midst of a contemplation of some type. He's in the midst of a contemplation. Maybe he's in the midst of a Holmesian activity. I don't think I could get away with firing off a cap gun in here. And I do not have the editing software or the ability to add a muzzle flash in post. So he can't be doing what I want him to be doing, which is shooting the VR into the wall. But he'll probably just be here, just thinking, just meditating on things. And then he'll get a blip of some sort. He'll get like maybe a blip on his phone, or maybe an alert from an associate. And I'll pick up his phone. Obviously, I'm holding my only phone right now. Beep 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 beep. It's like, oh shit, my date's coming. And then what would he do next? He would get up, and then we would cut from here to right here, and he would come up in the frame like that, with the phone, looking at it very seriously. Look up. No dialogue, because Conan Doyle didn't write anything yet. He would leave the room, come running down, come walking, not running, walking with a purpose down the hall, only make it about part way, and then there'll be a beat. It'll be like, turn swiftly around, come into the bathroom, and he'll look at himself. Look himself in the mirror, and you realize, oh, I do not look like the world's greatest detective right now. I need to clean this up. And he'd grab a razor, shoop, 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 shoop. There'd be a montage, a getting ready montage, getting ready for the date montage. Maybe he would realize, oh, my clothes, oh, I can't have this. And toss them aside. Maybe there would be a camera frame out over here, so I wouldn't have to do a nude scene, but you can see like all of his other clothes and his underwear just flying across the room. And then he would put together, he would look fabulous. He looks like a real Sherlock Holmesian type. And he comes barreling down the room, and he sees that, I'm not going to show you the kitchen right now, but he's gonna see that things are not exactly the way that they need to be. So he'd start adjusting things, start cleaning things up, start adjusting little things here and there. And meanwhile, we would cut to outside. I'm not going to go outside right now, but outside, it's the dead of night right now. I don't want to do that. But outside, we would see a car pull up and a black shoe and black pant leg come out of the car. And we would know that this is the individual he's been waiting for. While everything that's going on inside the apartment is treated like, is being framed like almost like a romantic comedy, everything outside the apartment is treated like a threat, like a deadly, terrifying threat. And meanwhile, inside, Holmes has gone full maid. He's got like or full butler, if you want. He's got the rubber gloves on, and he's scrubbing, and he's spraying, and he's cleaning, and all this stuff. And then suddenly his ears perk up. Maybe there's a close-up of the ear. His ears perk up, and he hears the footsteps or the doors moving the way they are. And Moriarty is coming in. Maybe he'll have some steps he has to come up. It doesn't have to necessarily be exactly like my apartment. It could be anyone's apartment. So maybe he has some steps he has to climb up. And he's climbing up the stairs, and Holmes hears him. And Holmes only has a few minutes, so he like throws a bunch of shit in the cabinet under the sink. He throws away the cleaning supplies. He runs around closing off rooms that haven't been cleaned, making sure there's no way that he can see what a filthy animal he actually is, and make it look like he's absolutely meticulously together all the time. He grabs his laptop or something to make it look like he's working, runs out, and tries to make it look like he hasn't been preparing, like he's just been working on a case. And Moriarty is the furthest thing from his mind. And then Moriarty would knock on the door. And maybe Holmes would let him knock a couple of times. And then Moriarty comes in. And then finally he says, "Come in." Moriarty comes in. And there's a match shot at that point showing Holmes sitting at his table and Moriarty at the door. And just like love at first sight or hatred at first sight. But you can see like they're intrigued by each other in a massively sapiosexual way. And Moriarty is like, what is his first line? I haven't actually looked at the script yet. I probably should do that. But Moriarty says, I believe his first line is, "You have less frontal cranial development than I would have expected," or something like that. But a little bit after that, he says something like, "It's very rude to finger a revolver inside of one's dressing gown pocket in front of a guest," or something like that. And that, in this context, would be more of a sort of, "Is that a gun in your pocket, or are you just glad to see me" thing. And the conversation would continue, but I would absolutely, absolutely make it more of a flirty thing. And as opposed to Sherlock, when they did the same scene, and the Basil Rathbone movies, when they did the same scene where they had Moriarty sitting in the opposite chair, the one that Watson usually sits in front of the fire, and having them talk like that. Excuse me, sorry, don't know where that came from. Instead, I would have them sit down at the table together, maybe eat a little, maybe have a drink, maybe, oh, no, 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 you know what I do, they share a candlelit meal. That's what they do. They sit down, and I act, and I fade, and I cut to a later moment where they're just sitting at the table, and time has gone on, and at some point someone lit a candle, and they're having a meal with forks and knives, and they're still talking the entire time about how much they despise each other. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, that's brilliant. They're just talking about that shit, and they're just like fucking each other with their eyes, fucking each other with their eyes. And then how's the conversation end? How's the conversation end? Well, they threaten each other a bunch, and then I think Moriarty says, can only end with either you dying or me. And Holmes says, well, if I could be assured of your destruction, I would gladly accept mine. And Moriarty, I think, says, I can promise you the one, but not the other. It depends, because I haven't read the original text in a while, and I know that in the Granada version, he says, I can promise you the one, but not the other. And in the Basil Rathbone version, he says, then we shall walk off into oblivion hand in hand, or something like that. Either way, super, super cute. Like, they're doing that, but at the same time, like, it's just like a no you, I'm gonna kill you, no you, I'm gonna kill you, no you. Um, yeah, so I think I'm gonna do that. I just need to figure out when, like how to set up all the individual shots, because I have not filmed anything for real for a long time, and I'm very intimidated by the prospect of doing it. I meant to start doing it today. And the other thing is, don't tell anybody, but I found out what I'm getting for Christmas. I'm getting, I already got, by accident, Kaylee told me to open a package she thought was for somebody else. Turned out it was for me. She got me some lighting equipment, which I'm very excited about. And then later on, she already told me this, she's gonna get me a new phone with a better camera. So I'm wondering, should I wait for that? Or should I just film it right now with my lighting equipment and my shitty camera that you're seeing me film on right now? I don't know. But if you guys think that this is a good idea, I think it's a great idea. If you guys think it's a good idea, and if you guys think that that you have any ideas, like ideas that could improve what I have, make it better, is something I've missed, something that would make things a little bit better, please, by all means, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your ideas, and if you can even tell me if you think this is bullshit. I that's fine. You can tell me that. I would appreciate, like, constructive criticism, definitely. But yeah, you can tell me if you just think that I'm full of shit. That's fine. But yeah, thanks for letting me bounce this idea off of you guys. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you very much for spending your time with me. Happy Vlogmas, and I'll see y'all later. Bye bye.